So we'll take here and then down here, and then we'll check and see whether we have any other pressing questions before tea. Okay, at the back.
So easy question, are you religious?
Question is, are you religious?
I'm not religious. I grew up in Lebanon. I was somewhat religious when I was growing up. I grew up in a Orthodox Christian background, but then I stopped believing, mainly for intellectual reasons.
Do you think that belief is good? I never thought of religion as selling trust. When you showed me that graph, it was kind of interesting to me. I never thought that religion would make society more trustworthy. Do you think that's good if, in fact, that true trustworthiness is built on something that's false?
Right. I was hoping for that question because I wanted to hear the answer to this. So, if religions do build trust and cohesiveness and cooperation, can we make a normative statement like it's good even if it's based on something like something we can't prove?
You got me there.
It's tough.
It's a tough question. I don't know. I mean, I have opinions, but I don't know if my opinions are any better than your opinion. I mean,
it's a normative question.
It's a normative question. Like, it's a question of how should we live? How should we design society? And I'm here to report the research. I would say that at the minimum, I would say that there is logic to this, right? If you come from a tradition that you're never religious and you never understood religion, what I would say is that this is not just superstition. Dismissing religion is easy, but there are deep psychological and social reasons why we've had religion for such a long time. It makes sense. That's what I would say.
So there was a question. No, it wasn't. It was you, I guess. I thought it was someone else. And then I know this one here.
So we have Ronald Wright, very successful book, What is America? Another book by Frank, What's the Matter with Kansas? Religion, both these authors is tying to politics. And do you see politics as a religion, as tying these things, piggybacking again on the religious part of our mind? And what does that say for Canada as the mouse next to the elephant in terms of the directions society may go?
Okay, so America, as an outlier, very religious. A couple of books written tying some of their political activity to this fact that they're very religious. That's what I think that's what the thesis of those books are. And then can we catch religion? So what does it mean for Canada, which is currently not very religious, but we're very close to a very religious country? Is that kind of what you're asking? Yeah.
This is a fascinating issue. My hobby these days have been to, every time I meet someone who is an expert on religion in a different area than I am, like sociologists or anthropologists, I always ask them, why do you think America is so religious? How can we put this slide up?
Believe it or not, it's a facade.
Right there.
And in fact, this is a vigorously debated issue. One thing I'll say about Canada, by the way, is that over time, if I could run this graph over time for you, what you would see is that Canada and the US are drifting apart over time. So Canada is becoming much more like Western Europe, and the United States is sort of becoming more and more an outlier. So that's an interesting thought to have about, what does that say about our relations with our neighbors in the South. The only other thing I'll say is that religion is a powerful mobilizer of societies, right? So, of course, politicians have discovered it for thousands of years, and they use it. So, for good or bad, whatever their agenda is.
Here.
You suggested that a moralizing God, in a sense, could be a proxy for our parents and friends and other members of our group watching over us. But I'm wondering about evil spirits to whom we're not supposed to listen, for instance, Satan. And do they represent a proxy for our group's enemies, for instance? And along those lines, I presume that different religions have different strengths of evil spirits. Do you find that religions with stronger or weaker evil spirits differ in the past history that they've had in interactions with other religions?
So the question is, Dr. Norenzayan spoke a lot about how these supernatural beings were like other people watching over us so that we would be good. What about those supernatural beings in religions that are bad, like Satan, that we're not supposed to listen to? Are they somehow psychological stand-ins for our enemies? And if that's the case, is there some correlation between how you treat your enemies and the number of these bad spirits across cultures?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know if I can answer that question. You're absolutely right that in many cultures there are many evil spirits, so to speak, right? That people are afraid of. There are certain spirits that reside in certain areas, like around the lake, for example. In the case of the Australian Aborigines, people wouldn't even go there because it's dangerous. It's I don't know how to think about that yet. I don't know if anyone has been able to propose. There are some speculations I've heard of, but nothing that is a testable hypothesis at this point. It's a great question.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:15. We do have a reception. Which Ara said he will stay for, and there are at least three other speakers.
I'm going to be punctual for the
the reception is right here, so we know he's going to be there. There are at least three other speakers, previous speakers who are here, who have, I think there are four, who will be out there as well, and we have to take the exam. So people are slowly drifting away, and I don't want to lose everybody before the reception. So does anyone have a very important question that they want to make publicly, not just to Ara? Sir.
Yes, I do. I want to pose this question to the speaker and everybody. If you were a chimpanzee, would Jane Goodall be your god? And what rituals might you invent to keep her bringing the food and the bananas and things like that?
Is this for me?
The question, in all seriousness, I assume, is that if you were a chimpanzee, would you consider Jane Goodall, i.e. the chimpanzees that interact with her, a god because she can do good things for you, and what rituals would you invent?
I'll answer your question with a bit of an anecdote. I once asked a primatologist if he thought that there's any of it. I asked, is there anything like religion among primates? And he said, well, I've read this thing in Jane Goodall, and she says that sometimes the chimps go run and stand in front of a waterfall, and they just stand there like for a long time and just watch the waterfall. And she thought that that's the closest thing she could see of a religious experience that they're having.
I want to emphasize the point of this question. If you were a hardcore evolutionary theorist and psychologist like me, you have to believe that the brain evolved by natural selection. And if it did, it's a rather limited thing for understanding the universe because it was shaped by our evolutionary past and our future. So our brains are very limited. We're like chimpanzees in a way, floundering in the sea of the universe, trying to make sense of it, right? And so I ask that question to try and get the perspective for everybody on what we humans really are, if you're a hardcore Darwinist like me.
The comment is that we are quite stupid still and do not understand our universe. And so this was a parable. That previous question was a parable. I would like to thank you all of you that came tonight, all of you that have come for the entire series. We do have a reception. I do want people to take the quiz. And please join me in thanking Dr. Norenzayan for an incredibly interesting talk.
Thank you.